Welcome back to Tuesday night. Thank God it's Tuesday. Brought to you by First Amendment Sports. I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Tim Strachan.
Hey, it's a Victory Tuesday.
It's Victory Tuesday.
I don't care how it looked. It's a Victory goddamn Tuesday.
There you go. He's Kevin Ricka.
Had it in the bag the entire time.
Had it the whole time. Didn't worry about a thing. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We do appreciate you guys giving us a subscription. It is free on the First Amendment Sports YouTube channel. We have a whole show full of things that you might want to like. You might not. Give us a thumbs up when you get a chance. We appreciate that. We're 2-2, guys. The top of the show tonight is dedicated to us being 500 in a week when we all were just thinking, if we don't get that win, things are going to look pretty bleak for the rest of the year, because if you don't win that game, what game do you win? The story of the game, which we'll get a little bit more into, wasn't pretty, but we got it done, and that's exactly what I said when the final whistle sounded. Everyone in my house was all excited because we won, and they were like wondering how to read me. At the end of that game, and what exactly was my demeanor, and how did I look?
From a distance.
From a distance.
Any more
People were
answers,
keeping their distance from me,
yes.
and I said, no. A win is a win. We're going to put the last 60 minutes behind us of game time, and we're going to move forward with a W. I will say, and I wrote this on the Hogs Haven piece, and welcome everybody from Hogs Haven. We appreciate you guys. It was a quiet day in the Marangolo basement. I said we were filming the third installment to A Quiet Place. My son came in and he said, hey, this is weird. You don't have the sound on. And then my wife came in and she's like, you're just watching the game in silence? And I said, yes, I am. And they were like, that's weird. Why are you doing that? And I said, well, let me explain something to you. And I didn't have any competition sound-wise, so they had to listen to me tell them why. There was no way in hell I was going to listen to 1 second of Mark Sanchez calling that game. Told you I wasn't, and I didn't. You know what? It was a great experience.
He wasn't that bad.
That's fine. That's fine.
Didn't ruin it for me.
Yeah, well,
that's good.
Guess what? You have a different perspective.
It ruined it for you?
Oh, no. My wife kept the volume down. I kept saying, what? I walked in. Why is it so?
To be honest, I didn't, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, guess what? That dude, he might not be a bad dude, but in principle, I don't want to listen to him.
Principle.
No.
It's all about the principle.
No.
I got to set an example for my
But he didn't
family.
ruin it for you.
He didn't ruin it for me at all.
Oh, his presence around any Washington football team activity has already been ruined for eternity. That happened.
Out.
Nothing he can do to change it. He seems like he's fine.
Jay Feely and Spiro Ditas, the Greek wonder, Spiro Ditas. I don't know.
Listen,
I'm murdering his name.
I love the Greeks as a people.
Yes.
Old Spiro D is a D minus. He's a D. Spiro D minus is what we're going with.
That's what we're used to, and I love that it's a part of our coverage of this team. And you can get your X's and O's and your film work and blah blah blah. We watch the greatest TV show in the world called Washington Football Team on Sundays, and man, do they try to ruin it for us on a regular basis. But we won't let them. We won't let them. We're 2-2. We're taking that win all day long. The Atlanta Falcons did what I think is pretty much the book on us now. Snap the ball, throw it as fast as you possibly can to the middle of the field where no one in burgundy and gold is
going to be.
and do that rinse and repeat all day long. Matt Ryan is good enough to do that, and he
looked
certainly
all
did
pro
it. Yeah,
that
of course.
day.
Well, here's the deal. I don't want to act like we made him look all pro. We had a hand in it. We did.
Yeah.
The guy's a player. We know that. We made a little fun of him last week for being 900. He's still like 8 years younger than all three of us. I mean, I don't know what we're getting away with. I know it's depressing, right?
He's like but in quarterback years, he's at least 60.
Yeah, but at certain quarterback age, you just stop aging. I guess apparently these
He's more
days.
Matty Ice Pack than he is Matty Ice.
Yeah, but how about this, T-Bird? And this was driving me to the ice, and for different reasons. We were right where we were supposed to be a lot at the beginning of the game. And when they say a game of inches, and especially this new passing NFL, it's been a passing NFL for a decade. Matt Ryan was putting the ball within inches in windows that we were getting fingers on, and it was so torturous.
On the back end, for sure, and also up front. Hey,
at the beginning,
we blitzed. We stunned.
We did.
We did stuff up front.
Yeah. Did
Holy
not get
crap,
to him.
guess what? It freaking worked.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it didn't
more
work.
than it has in the last 3 games.
But it was a step in the right direction.
But I
It was
do
a
like
step
that
in
we
the right-
mix
Yes.
up what we do instead of sitting there. I mean,
Yes.
watching Chase Young, I think you're referencing coming from the outside, when they put Montez and Chase both on the left.
Montez is,
Both on the
sack.
left with Chase at the tackle, and then they stunted and ran game there. That is high-level shit. I'm good with that. That's 2 of your best monsters on a weak side of the other team. That's the type of stuff I think that we were looking for. And not just the willy-nilly. And T understands the blitz game and understanding of the counting the numbers. Every random fan that we're talking about that's like, we've got a blitz or we've got a not blitz. Like, there's never really much of a conversation there. I really like some of the things we did. Not so much for now.
It was better.
And moving forward, it shows that we're able to be more multiple, which is all we talked about.
Robert Cohen, Keegan Tier, Greg Martin, AGH, EO Anderson, Rhett's out there. We got some awesome people joining us tonight on the board. The usuals who are commenting. Please be a part of it.
The GOATs. This is what we got.
They are the GOATs. We've talked about it for 3.5 weeks already. I kind of didn't want to make this a whole thing about our defense, only because it didn't really take a huge step forward in terms of production. It just was just enough. The one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, or get us talking about, and see what the board thinks. Man, the call against Chase Young was the wrong call. I mean, I don't. So in a world where you rush a gifted defensive end at a quarterback, how do we always we're on the wrong side of that? I feel like we are. He hit him right here, and he was running full blast, and he kind of came across him, and he tried to.
Officiating has been horrendous.
Matt Ryan, Kyler, and Kaepernick did it, and just took a knee, and then threw it, and it was
Replay's worse.
It was ridiculous.
Replay is worse than the actual live.
Well, that specific play, replay should have uncovered the fact that was not. There's nothing. Now, I'm not defending Chase because I don't think what Chase did was great there. First of all, he paused before. Second of all, he went in and didn't know what to do based on the NFL and the rules. And
that's right.
I'm not sure, but I know this. Chase Young just picks him up and drops him. It's over with. And he didn't do either. He was a little and I get
tentative.
He was tentative out on the edge, not under. But Jesus,
the most
are you
tentative
telling me?
forearm to the chest you've ever seen, because he knocked him down with a forearm to the chest, and we all know it was tentative.
How about this? The NFL implementing these rules to protect quarterbacks, I'm not against. That's an exact example of the NFL and the officials getting it wrong. Because what Chase Young could have done, and 10, 15 years ago, what he would have done is end Matt Ryan's career.
Yeah.
He didn't. He treated him softly. He brought him to a soft knee and then took 15 yards the other way. What the F is happening?
I mean, you're like, what do you want him to do? Cup check him? I mean, at the end of the day,
yes.
I mean,
now you have to
seriously.
Especially when you're over 38. You just get them old things whacked.
Sack
Doesn't
tap
matter.
on the way through, because that's not a penalty, but for goodness sake.
Do you really need these any longer, Ryan?
Man, Ryan,
It
you
looked
are
like a
done
really
with them.
bad reaction to a slap from
Yeah.
He was like, It was like if he had pearls to clutch, he'd be like, oh my god, my word.
I challenge you to a duel.
Shot.
Did you just do that? All right, so it didn't cost us the game, but that was egregious. It was a big penalty and a big call. That drive was over.
It was a huge boner. It was terrible.
We would have got the ball at midfield.
I had to walk out of the room because, honestly, I knew we'd talk about it here on Tuesday, and I knew we'd all have our opinions, but that was horrendous. That's a horrendous way to watch football. I get when the guys are in the pocket and everyone at the bar yells, oh, I get it. They're trying to protect the guy. What the hell happened there? Who was protected? Who was at fault? Two guys really didn't know what to do. Matt Ryan was like, I think I'll take a knee. Chase was like, hiya, I think.
I mean, it should be talked about forever because nothing that happened was football related. You had a 6'5" beast of an athlete going almost at top speed, kind of give a forearm crush after he stops to a quarterback who clutched his pearls and like, what just happened?
Wrestling.
I'm going to take a second and think about this. Gets on the ground, then throws it downfield.
Yes. And then
It's
the
like
referee said, frankly,
WWE SmackDown.
It was
frankly,
insane.
Ken and Tim, I don't give a damn.
Give a damn. All right. Well, our defense
Really?
didn't
That
have.
was the thing you wanted to talk about?
Well, no, just on the defensive
the
side.
big- okay.
I wish the best for Mr. Bostic. I wish the best for Mr. McTire. I mean,
The Bostic injury hurts.
it does it.
Just so we don't have that much there.
We didn't have much there.
Kaliki
It'll be
Hudson.
someone else's hand about 8 inches away from the spiral
Kaliki?
flying by to the guy
gonna
he's
be somebody.
guarding. I hope so because I don't ever wish for an injury on anyone. But
Is this true? Did Jalen Smith get released by Dallas? E.O. Anderson is reporting on our show that Jalen Smith was released by the Cowboys. First of all, if he was,
that can't be good off
it's
the
a
field.
terrible thing for Jalen
News.
Smith. Something bad happened to
Right,
him, and
that's-
we don't want to make light of
Nah,
that.
I don't.
I have no idea what that's about because
That's
there's
not
no reason
good.
he's being released otherwise. All right, on the offensive side of the ball, some
In other news.
in other news, some pretty no E.O. Anderson. We shouldn't try to pick him up. We're telling you right now, if the Dallas Cowboys dropped Jalen Smith, there was a reason.
He's riding dirty with Vermillion right about
He
now.
is.
I mean,
He's
just saying.
connected in Vermillion.
Well, we
That's
can't.
true.
You can't just pick up the guy the Cowboys had to get rid of. I mean, seriously? Think of the players they haven't gotten rid of over the years.
Yeah.
And what probably just, I mean, unless he just walked in, just double birds blaring to McCarthy's office. I mean,
we're going to learn more about this story as the night goes on. Let's talk about Taylor Heineke. He gets the game ball from pretty much everybody, I think. I mean, there's other candidates, and I know Keegan Tier throwing out the DeAndre Carter. I was also impressed with DeAndre Carter. He was on our cut list. I know he was on mine.
Humongous plays.
And then he balls for us.
he has put in work.
Yes.
7 years in the league, guys.
Yes.
I think he has 35 receptions in his 7 years in the league. And if you can remember, in 2014, and it's always hard to remember these guys later, he was first-team FCS All-American at Sacramento State. I think he had like 1,700 yards. I know he had 17 or 19 touchdowns. He was a dominant freak at a small school. Those guys never get that heralded. And then we kind of lost him. I think I heard his name once or twice that year, but 7 years in the league, 35 receptions.
He's a classic
That
Rivera
kickoff
player.
return. That kickoff return, yeah, exactly what Rivera did. He found a guy for 7 leagues who's never been in the end zone. He returned 3 kickoffs in college, I believe. He's had a handful in the NFL, but never scored. That was his first touchdown in 7 years. This is a great dude. If you've ever listened to him have an interview, he is the utmost positive human. His brother, who he lost years ago, was very special to him. They shared this NFL dream. His dad happened to be at the game for that, and that was dedicated to his brother. And this guy is just a ball of energy. I can't wait to watch number one, and what a play for 24 yards in the fourth quarter.
It was
Wow,
ridiculous.
wow,
That was a
wow.
huge
And
play.
you see him cover that ball up like a 7-year veteran. 2 hands on it in the fourth quarter after he made his play. He knew, get down.
Yep.
A guy 5 years
Get
earlier in
forward.
his career would have been trying to get to the house
Get
somewhere
down,
with
get
athleticism.
forward. Yes.
He did the right thing. He was huge. I can't give him the player of the game, but he made 2 of the biggest plays of the game because Taylor Heineke's return to Atlanta, and you guys know how I feel about his toughness. Wow.
Taylor,
Well, he makes it fun. There's no doubt about it.
Wow.
The story is great.
Once again, and I don't know why it wasn't evident in the first few weeks of the season, but this was the first time this season where I thought that he threw it the Taylor Heineke way.
He spun it, and
Yeah.
it came off his hand.
It
this
came
week.
off his hand. It just the ball looked a little bit different. I don't know why that is or what that's
Different
about.
from last week.
Yeah.
He was sure where he was going with the ball every time he threw it. It felt like.
Yeah, he threw to a
It
spot.
felt like he knew where he was going with it. He knew when he had to get rid of it. He was confident in the throw. That was not there last week.
You know what I'm talking about here is that feeling that I had. So when he came in last year, he came in confidently and he threw it what I call the Taylor Heineke way. And the Taylor Heineke way goes like this. You have a screen, a high-definition screen most people have, gives you a good shot of the field. When Taylor Heineke throws it, initially you don't know where the receiver is because the camera's not there yet. When the ball comes off his hand, your first thought is, oh my God, that could be intercepted by 10 different people.
It takes a lot longer to get where it's going.
And then when the camera goes, all of a sudden magically there's our guy is the only guy that can catch it. He is a thrower. I mean, he knows what he's doing and he can spin it.
And not only he's already showed us his ability to put touch on the ball. We've given him a hard time. I believe his arm is not a pea shooter. It's a slightly above average NFL starting quarterback arm, which makes him average. Average arm strength. That's what he is. He has the ability to throw the change up. He has the ability to put a little air on it to figure out his ability. No.
It's
dude,
better than Pete.
I'm not going to let you say anything remotely average about the man that has been the leader and would be one of the top starting quarterbacks in half of this league right now today. I believe T doesn't, but I get it. I understand why T likes it. But I'm going to tell you this: no one in the NFL in the fourth quarter.
He's not a starting quarterback. In
I
the
disagree.
NFL.
No one in the NFL, I think, has
disagree.
better fourth quarter numbers right now with the game on the line than Mr. Heart, Soul, and Toughness, who doesn't have a pea shooter, and he showed that on Saturday. He has an average arm for a starting quarterback, but not below. 24 for 33 for 271 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 last-minute come-from-behind drives in the fourth quarter only this year. And his first 3 starts, we already said, most yards any NFL quarterback in the history of the game has thrown for in 3 starts, their first 3 starts.
1,000 yards.
T, eventually he's going to make a believer out of you, and he's made a believer out of me because what I saw on Saturday and how this game has evolved and the quickness, when you come down on the left and the game's on the line and you've gone back and forth between your
He looked at
your
us.
4
He was like,
reads,
it was right
so
through the TV
cool
screen.
to come and periscope all the way for number 5 across. Sorry, that's different. Not many starters in this league have that ability. Mental processing
You
is
haven't
different.
said anything I disagree with.
The mental processing, I believe, makes him one of the top 15 starters in this league.
Oh, no. Okay,
Boom.
so
Boom.
that's what allows him
You absolutely
to be effective
did.
in this
I heard
league.
it. He absolutely did.
He's effective in this league because of his intelligence, his understanding of how the game is
Yeah,
played.
that's what I want my guy
He
to
just
have.
doesn't have the physical tools to be
I
a
disagree.
top quarterback in the league consistently.
I think you're thinking 10 years
and
back,
you know
bro.
what? I hope he does prove me wrong. But I don't hate him. I love him.
You just don't like his arm, but his arm
He's fun as
Sunday
shit to watch.
was
And as Ron said,
Then why
you're
can't he
always in
start?
it. You're always in it when he's got a chance to.
Right.
'cause
Then
of
why
the way
can't he be a starter?
He puts his balls on the table and he plays like a baller. That's fine.
Right.
Okay?
That's
But
what he
he's
does.
not-
That's all he's done.
He's not a franchise
Well,
quarterback.
hold on.
No one said
He's not.
franchise
He's not.
quarterback. How many are there? 3?
Right now, he's our number 1 guy, and
He's
he'll
a
be a number 1
beast.
guy for
love
He's been a
quite some time.
freaking
He makes
beast.
it fun as hell to watch a football game.
I would say the jury
So
is
start him,
officially
T-Bird.
out on Taylor Heineke, whether or not he will be, because I think he can. I think it's possible for him to play his way into a slightly longer term job.
I think
here
there's
than
no
like 2 or
doubt
3
about
years.
it. Maybe not
He
even
can do
here.
it.
I mean, I hope it's here. I
Yeah.
love the guy, but
So-
he's a starting quarterback in this league for a few years.
It
man.
remains to be seen, but I'll tell you what, if you know the way he's playing, because he's being asked to do. Here's the other thing about Taylor Heineke, because of what our defense has been unable to do in 4 weeks. Shockingly so. I mean, not at all what we expected. Because of that, he's being asked to do things that you probably otherwise wouldn't ask a guy who's coming off the bench or came from ODU and is a journeyman to do. And he's being asked to really be a big part of us winning games, and he's been doing that. Pretty much ever since he put on number 4
can't
jersey for
coach
us.
or teach clutch.
Yeah.
And there's many quarterbacks out there that don't have it. They do have a lot of other things and a lot of rookie unproven guys. We'll see how they pan out.
Let's talk about
But
who he
I love
gets
his
to lean on.
understanding. I love it.
Because it is a awesome thing for us to turn on the TV on Sunday, all of us, Washington fans, and watch number 17 line up for us and play wide receiver for us. What he does, and we've talked a lot about it. I mean, he gets open, right? He's always able to run a route that gets him open. He's next level elite route running ability. But what he has been able to do for us when the other team knows that we want to go to him is shocking. And like his arm or don't like his arm, Taylor Heineke has been getting the ball to him. It's been super impressive.
Very smart.
Super impressive to watch 4-17 connection. I think watching Terry McLaurin do what he does now. Again, how about this? Kind of the bookend, the two calls that stand out to me. How in the hell did they not call pass interference on the play where he had to fight his way back for that touchdown pass? Now, he was held.
I think they also probably thought it could have gone two ways. So,
sure,
no call.
I understand what you're saying, T. I do.
Well, at that point, the fact that there wasn't a flag meant that we couldn't get penalized for the 50-50 call that goes against us every time. So I was thrilled. The guts it takes to throw that ball up there and hope that – and he said afterwards, that's Terry McLaurin. I mean, that's cool. But that's different.
Ooh, interesting comment on the board that I want to bring to you guys. And I always pronounce this last name incorrectly. It's our guy. Kevin G.
There you go.
Kevin G. Making the Trent Green comparison to Taylor Heineke, a guy who did develop under our tutelage and we let walk because we didn't think he was a guy that we wanted to invest in long term. He wasn't a young buck. Believe
right.
I mean, kind of different quarterbacks. I think.
Yeah, Trent Green has T's type of arm.
Heineke was
doesn't.
A far better quarterback than Taylor Heineke.
Okay.
Well, you're talking. He didn't have a better start, so that's all. That's all relative.
That's fine.
But
that's fine.
But of course, Trent Green is a proven commodity.
Yep.
But I do like the idea of a guy in his later 20s that hasn't just been thrown out because he's stuck it out. Most of those guys are gone or starting. There's no in between. You don't find many, guys in their late 20s starting their first 3 games. So, man, I like the idea of Trent Green. I like the idea of us never letting go of Trent Green for crap's sake.
The Bison backer wants to know where the hell are you guys? Listen, we made it.
We're far away from
home. Far away from home. We'll do this show anywhere they'll have us. We are in the Commonwealth of Virginia, so all of our good friends who are in Virginia tonight watching us, your state is amazing.
They put whiskey in these weird things in Virginia, too.
It's high noon somewhere. And we'll take this as a opportunity to let everybody who's watching this show know, man, we just put out an awesome show in the last hour. We got a chance to go interview a bunch of high school coaches and players in the Washington area in the greatest high school conference in the land, which we think, and it was awesome. If you love football, it's the show that was right before this one. Do yourself a favor. There's a couple segments in it where we talk to the kids and talk to the coaches. Lots of fun. We'll put a pin in that one. That's why we're here tonight. We're out in the Commonwealth, putting in some pre-produced things down with our main men, Luke and Kyle. Kyle's doing some editing in the editing suite here over to our right while we are enjoying high noon. So, all right, so we got the bad call, Terry McLaurin out. Now we got to talk about the running back that came on last year, and for some reason, and I don't understand how this is possible, in a world where everybody knows everything about everything, the data is free, information is free-flowing, the world's at everyone's fingertips. Only one running back had more anything, really, any more targets or more catches. Only one running back had more catches than J.D. McKissick last year, and I believe it was Alvin Kamara.
Up till this point, starting last year till now, Kamara's got 93, McKissick's got 92.
It's unbelievable.
That's 1-2 in the NFL.
And when we hand it off to him, we can't hand it off to him. He's not the same runner necessarily that Kamara is. I mean, Kamara is just he's the next level guy.
Kamara's a freak.
what JD provides our offense is something that I mean it makes me think about the old days of like B. Mitch and Larry Centers and guys who came in where the other team knew you were gonna throw to him, and then sure enough you threw to him, he caught it and he gets yards. It's like, how are people not guarding J.D. McKissic more? Now obviously the last play that he made that touchdown on was next level.
Great recognition by both McKissic and Taylor Heineke to make that play. Hey, you want to throw out a game ball? Why don't we give it to the line for that play alone, to allow Heineke to make that, survey the field, move over to his left, and then be able to make that throw over across the field. I mean, I was like, the line made that play.
Yep.
I mean, great what those two did. Awesome efforts, but that doesn't work if he doesn't have the time to do that.
Yeah, they didn't bring pressure. They played coverage. We handled it, and Heineke had to roll out left.
And 75 got back out there and balled.
Yeah, man. But here's my deal. Fourth quarter, I'm going to ask you guys this. In the fourth quarter this year with the game on the line, who gets their number called the most? That's always, as a guy who calls plays, you do whatever you do the first few quarters to set it up for the end of the game so you can go to what you need. Obviously, 17 has the most targets.
But 41.
11 fourth-quarter targets for 17 for 120 yards of production. 10 fourth-quarter targets for McLaurin with 120 yards of production as well.
McKissic. You just juice McClinton us.
McKissic.
Let me ask you this.
Number 17, Terry McLaurin has 11 for 120. J.D. McKissic, 10 targets, 10 fourth-quarter targets for another 120 yards. That's what I meant to say the first time. We're going to have our guys, our Commonwealth boys. We'll
Kyle,
take care of this in post-production.
Yes, of course.
I know this.
Kyle's on it.
Whoever the hell you trust with the ball is who you call to put the ball in their hands when the game's on the line in the fourth quarter. Apparently, we think pretty damn highly about J.D. McKissic.
And no Logan Thomas was huge for us.
I'm glad he's going to be all right.
He is going to be all right. He's week to week, as are we all.
Ricky Seals' first catch, though, I was like, all right.
Yeah, but he missed one that he should have caught, and Greg Martin's making that point. But
he put two butt cheeks up there to pull that one in.
I don't. This whole
hard.
call for
That's really hard.
Sammy Reyes, the Chilean tight end. Listen, that's just pump the brakes.
Sammy the Bull is going to hurt somebody.
He's going to break somebody.
He's a bad man.
John Bates was getting a little rough out there on the field.
John Bates also looked like he was a fish out of water the huddle. And
he did.
He's a big physical guy, but he's got to develop a little more smoothness to his gait.
Let's we said the name Kamara. It's a good segue to our week to come. Now we already know who's calling the game. We might listen to that on the TV, might not. We'll find out. But the team we're playing, the New Orleans Saints, man, they just got abused in overtime by the New York Football Giants in a way that I completely don't respect.
Giants.
Here's the one thing about that game that stands out to me. So Saquon Barkley took one like 60 yards, something like that, and late in the game. New Orleans was up. They were riding the lead. That touchdown by Saquon Barkley, if you go back and watch that, people who have red zone saw it, people who were flipping around, game break, and Saquon Barkley scores a touchdown. He turns around, and he just starts hyping himself and everyone around him up. And he did it all the way back down the field. I think they were still down by like 10 points. And you're thinking to yourself, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? They're going to get waxed. The Saints aren't going anywhere. They're going to beat these guys.
He was hyping his guys.
Man, it worked. And he was a huge factor. I mean, if the Saints are going to go around getting beat by the Giants, okay, I'll give you Saquon Barkley. But just saying, that opens up a big crack in the armor for the Washington football team, because if the Giants can beat them, guess what? Pretty much anyone can.
Yeah, Jameis Winston throws no fear into my heart. Alvin Kamara certainly does. Whoever gets the ball and hands it off to him should do that the whole entire time. Jameis should just make sure he touches it, because that's not something we're great at, handling the running backs out of the backfield, and no one's great at handling Kamara. That's been the case. Real quick, with Saquon, he's been rushing for 1 yard per carry behind a terrible O-line since his injury. That had to feel pretty damn good for him.
It looked like
to smell air on his face as he was heading to the house, which is all he's ever done.
And then
I love they did that. That guy is one of the greatest football players in the league right now.
It's true.
Getting better and better.
Special.
I'm glad we got them early, and I hope we don't have to deal with them too much late, but that guy is special. He's a freak, and there's no doubt about it. I can't wait to see Kamara in town because this is a different Kamara. This isn't a Drew Brees Kamara. This is a Jameis Winston Kamara. He's awesome, but Jameis, he ain't Matt Ryan. He ain't anyone we've seen yet. He ain't terrible. He plays in this league, but when I saw that score and that comeback, it kind of made a little sense to me. Not just because the Giants usually just only do that to us.
Yep.
But when you see Saquon start to, and that team has to respond to that. He's their offense, man. It's Ben Daniel Jones. They're way better if it's Saquon, and they're a lot better if they're both playing at a high level. So,
big return for Curtis Samuel.
Yes.
First game of the season. He looked fresh. I think he had a good play called back. We need him. In order to do what we want to do on offense, we need him, whether it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kyle Allen, or Taylor Heineke at quarterback. What we want to do on offense, we can't do fully without Curtis Samuel. I know there's fans out there that are down on him. I know I hear the Paul Richardson comparisons.
Oh, please. He ended that in 2 catches.
I understand.
Stop.
I don't disagree at all. Getting number 10
watch last
involved.
year's game against us.
Oh, I mean,
check out
he
last year's game
abused
against us and watch what he does to us and how he treats our entire top 2 defense.
Talk
Watch
about
what he
someone who
did
can get
last
open,
year.
by the way. Who can get open in
stop.
short space, and you can also run deep patterns. So I'm
4-3
excited.
dude that led the NFL and most best catch percentage and plays over 30 yards last year. Wait till you get a load of him before you criticize him. True. Agreed.
I agree, too. And you know what? If we're going to do it, we're going to need him to be a lot closer to 100% this weekend. We are going to have to put points up to keep track or to keep up with the Saints. I'm a little bit concerned about Taysom Hill because I do love that guy, and he was their offense this past week. What's that?
He runs mad.
He does.
He ran real mad this past week.
Yeah, he was their whole offense.
Crap.
Yeah, he's a bad dude. But
he's a bad dude.
They got to figure out how to use him. Like, you can't just use him every now and then.
We got to get better at tackling to take someone down like Taysom Hill. I mean,
but he's an ankle guy. You got to get down there and get them ankles.
Here's my concern about Taysom Hill. We've done this now, I think, pretty much every week. We know who the other team's bad dude is. We talked about Cordarrelle Patterson till we were blue in the face last week, and he destroyed us. We're going to talk about we know Alvin Kamara.
And they didn't win. That's what we said.
He might not have 3 touchdowns for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, who else do they have, first of all? They'll find ways to get him the ball as well. They should.
Ridley, but
I love Ridley, but at the end of the day, all right, let's see. We got I think people are, for the most part, agreeing with us. I think people are arguing about tight ends right now, but at the end of the day,
mine's the tightest.
Logan.
Yeah.
At
the end of the day, mine is the tightest.
Is.
We discussed that on the way to Virginia earlier. You guys actually, that was nice of you.
That was.
I appreciate you guys saying that to me.
Taysom Hill is going to be causing some tightness if he gets going early for the Saints. We did promise our hosts that we wouldn't be here all night long. But I don't want to get out of here without making some predictions because we do like to make predictions. And T, I'm going to let you have the honors tonight. What do you got for us this week?
A little bit of humble, but also at the same time something to be hopeful for. Our 2 wins have been scrapes, just clawed, and just heroics to win against the Giants and the Falcons, right?
Understood.
But we also didn't play very well at all and still had a chance to beat the Chargers. Now, Bills just took a crap on us. We'll put that aside. This week,
yikes.
This week is, I think, more of a Giants, Falcons type of feel.
Okay.
I know the Saints are a good football team, but Jameis Winston sometimes can play like Josh Allen, but sometimes he can play like Talia Tagovailoa and throw 5 picks in a game. So
nice pronunciation.
You like that?
I do.
That was amazing.
I see the good guys coming out on top this week. Probably not something that I thought prior to the season happening, but I think they're going to give this week. I think it's going to be ugly again, but I'm going to go a little bit higher. I've been selling them short. I think it's going to be another like 37-34.
All right.
Get high, T-Bird.
Well, think about what your score is. I just want to drop one more little thought that I had that I put on the Hogs Haven article, which was the J.D. McKissick touchdown. The one thing I was remembering from that game, when he scores that touchdown, yes, I'm thinking we go up, but more than anything else, I'm thinking we just took Dustin Hopkins out of this game. We just eliminated the Dustin Hopkins factor.
Thank God it didn't come down to that.
Well, but I mean, we kicked the field goal, and then Matt Ryan gets him in a field goal position. Their kicker's excellent. So, anyways, I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah.
The J.D. McKissick touchdown was so good for so many reasons, not the least of which saved us probably 3 or 4 years of our life because we didn't have to watch Dustin Hopkins come out and attempt a field goal at the end.
It was so cool to watch. And by the way, I've taken longer flights from Atlanta to Freeport, Grand Bahama Island than J.D. McKissick took. I mean, he took off on about the 3 or 4, and he landed. I want to say he flew for about 10, 11 yards of airborne. That's just, as a human being, to run as fast as you can, leap, and get hit by 2 freakishly athletic other humans and be knocked through the sky 10, 11 yards in the air of flight. That's about as much as we're going to get as humans without any Orville Wright stuff, right?
What do you got for
30-27, good guys? I feel like we got to hit that 30 mark every week. If we hit 30, we win. They're going to fill it up to the max because that's what happens. But 30-27. 30-27.
30-27.
Good guys.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm not going to price this right you this week.
That
I'm
was
going
bullshit.
to predict that we win by more than a score. That the game is over before the last whistle blows. So I'm going.
I tried that last week.
I know.
You're bold.
I know. I'm going to go 31-23.
I'm not sure if there's going to be many comfortable wins.
No, there won't be many comfortable.
There's always one,
weeks.
though. We get one a year randomly. We've always gotten one
Out of
randomly.
nowhere.
Even Jay Gruden got one a year randomly. Like a random.
he did.
You know, you guys know how this goes. All of a sudden, Mark Sanchez shows up playing for somebody else, and we get a break.
Also, I think the gods are on our side for another reason because I know everyone's been talking about it. I know I have on the boards. The last time, one of the last times we played the Saints, the fiasco where the play calling, where it could have been over with a full possession and more than a score. We will not repeat the mistakes of the past against the New Orleans Saints this weekend. We will take care of business. We will get it done on both offense and defense. When it matters most. In the second half, Washington football team will prevail, 31-23.
So the last time we beat them, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the board
RG3?
helped me. Was it RG3's rookie year? Because
so. We had the game in 2016. We had it.
Yeah.
I think it was 2016 with Kirk Cousins and Chris Thompson.
So 2012 was when we won early.
Right.
Pierre Garçon took that little. We'd run our little over the middle and.
Yeah.
I want to see how he Heineke's, because that was a big, remember griffining?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, you line your back and blah, blah, blah. Like, it never really caught on at my house. I wasn't a big griffininer.
No.
I was a big fan of RG3, but I didn't do any griffining or let's see what happens out there. The last time we won, the quarterback had to do something that caught social media's attention.
I mean, he dives like pylons. He's a pylon diver. He's a classic pylon diver.
So let's have that happen against New Orleans.
Or he fist pumps in a very casual pose.
That was a great pump you threw in there.
Well,
he threw the pump.
He did.
You should say pump now.
He pumped it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will commence with the pumping, and we will get back to you guys in 1 week from.
He was kind of in a Hugh Hefner pose at that point, too, if you think about it.
I didn't think about it, and now I have to.
Now he's in my mind. He's got a robe on. It's the whole thing. Listen, we're going to come back next week. We're going to talk about this game against the New Orleans Saints. 3-2 is where we need to be. We need to be making a little bit of a third push. Keep in mind, 17 games this year. That one extra game is meaningful.
Yeah.
Got to get to 9. Got to get to 6 before the NFC East. Got to keep our eyes on those, the Eagles, Giants, and Cowboys as we move forward in the season. Until next Tuesday night, he's Kevin Ricka.
Hey, let's go Washington football team. Let's get another fun Sunday in the books.
He's Tim Strachan.
Keep it on a roll. Keep it a roll. No Turd Tuesday. How about that?
Ooh.
0.
Well, I
like it.
We couldn't let the week get by without a turd reference.
No, it doesn't.
Well, Turd's going to slip
out
out weekly.
when you say no turd.
And A.O. Anderson is telling us to roll that NBA young boy. We appreciate you, my friend. We will do just that. Until next Tuesday night, and on behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was, thank God, it's Tuesday. We're still live.